Wait a minute, this is too much. Come on, it makes you angry. Like I could do this all, but no, you couldn't, and you didn't, stupid.
But then you get it,
and then you get it, and then every time you're in the supermarket and you see a can, you think of art. You don't think of commerce anymore.
I think you might have described our show.
That's true.
I'm serious.
In a can, yes.
Right, yeah. The can thing. No, there's a lot of people that listen to us the first listen. They hate our fucking guts, and then you hear from them a couple months later, and they feel like they're in on it.
They're hooked.
I like that definition of art. Because every once in a while, people ask us to define art. I'm like,
I know it when I see it, like they used to say about porn.
Yeah, porno.
Right.
I can't define it, but I know it when I see it.
Don't you all have to go to the bathroom?
Yeah.
Well, these guys are going to.
John, you're an interesting guy.
Each other's
hold
dicks.
on. Yeah, we're gonna take a leak and
hold
we'll be
each
back.
other's cocks.
John Waters, he's doing a one-man show called The Filthy This Filthy World.
It just comes out on DVD this next week, October 30th.
Oh, you already did the one-man show.
Oh yeah, it's a DVD of it.
Why weren't we invited?
Because it was, I don't know, it was we shot it with a recruited audience through Netflix for all the people that bought my films.
Nice.
Jeff Garland from Curb.
Yeah, we'll talk about it next.
Yes.
Okay.
This filthy world, with John Waters. We'll talk more in a bit. It's Opie and Anthony.
Welcome to the Opie and Anthony Show, the venomous voices of the vastly vulgar airwaves. Introducing the Destroyer, operator of the OCD organization Opie, the Professor, the know-it-all neurotic Nancy Anthony. Swing over to little Jimmy Norton, the worthless, chinless, buxom master of laugh. Meet the irritating extra of excrement E-Rock, or the swishy audio shim Steve C. And don't forget Sam, black and white, 50-50 where it counts. Corrupting the cavities of ear holes everywhere, it's the Opie and Anthony Show. Opie and Anthony!
I'm in the middle of chewing. We're back. Gino from Philly must talk about this. Check this article out. This artist let a dog starve and die in front of people, and it's considered art.
Well, it wouldn't be to me. I said I don't like snuff movies. I don't like real violence. I don't like real cruelty. So it wouldn't be to me, but I think it was probably a misguided try at art.
Right. What was that?
Huh?
What was that?
A bell of some sort?
Yeah, bell.
Oh.
I think my battery needs to be recharged.
See, I'm weird with art. It's like, I know you're supposed to say, well, you can't define what's another person's art, but I look at certain people that do things just to me, mock outrageous, and I find it to be kind of corny.
Or you can try too hard, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely try too
like
hard.
Like, piss Christ, it's like, we get it, you're shocking.
What I like is impenetrable is what works for me in art. It's impossible to understand, and regular people can't understand it and don't get it, and it makes them mad. That helps.
What's an example of that?
Well, minimalism, certainly, where there's almost nothing there, which I think is great. I'm a fan of that.
Wait, what is it?
Well, a white painting, or
God,
that kind of thing.
I'm out. I see that stuff.
That's my favorite.
You like that stuff?
It's a white painting, and there's a red dot. And it's not even in the center.
I will say, though, I've seen stuff like that before where I don't know how it made me feel, but I couldn't stop looking at it. Like, there have been those that they give you like a really weird feeling, and you're like, I just got to look at this for a few minutes. I don't know why.
Yeah, I have an artist like Clay Ketter, and basically it's just drywall paintings. You know what that looks like when they do in your garage?
Uh-huh.
But he used to do it for real and make $10 an hour, and now they're $20,000. It's a good career move to me.
And what is it? Just
it
one
looks
color?
like a drywall painting. It's how the white goes on cardboard. Like it looks like that. I mean, you put it in a gallery, it's kind of great. Now you never look at drywall the same. That's what I'm saying. Magic. Art is magic.
It is magic.
It certainly is.
In all fair, I asked John about. Do you want to
go?
No, I had a question about because David Lynch to me is a brilliant director, but he's hard to follow. And it's like I want to understand what he's saying because I watch it and I like in Lost Highway.
Yeah.
What the fuck was
Maybe
going on?
David doesn't understand it himself, so even that's better. You're all trying to figure it out, so you don't always have to understand things.
Again,
to like them.
you get angry at some of
I
these
don't get
movies that you
angry.
watch.
I get angry at ones that have been test marketed so much to make everyone like it that everyone hates them. That they know, that they're written by 30 people, so every person in America like it. It hits every beat of a happy ending. They learn something else. That's what makes me angry.
Well, it's like my favorite movie, Cheaper by the Dozen. Steve Martin just has this knack of remaining funny, and yet he brings it home.
Shut up.
I just, I'm the opposite. Like when Forrest Gump started running, I wanted a censor to call. I want to know, who do I call in my community when I feel violated?
Yeah.
I liked that movie
Man,
more 5 years after it came out. I didn't like Gump when I first saw it. And then in hindsight, I was like, yeah, that kind of was like a nice movie and entertaining. It was kind of a Zelig ripoff, but I mean, it was still interesting. I just made John Waters want to spit in my face.
No, I didn't. And I'm a fan of Tom Hanks. I think, it's just to
The
me.
test marketing thing is really interesting that he brought up. Is there any commercial movie that you did like?
Sure,
And it goes against everything you believe in? Like, oh my God, they're politically correct. The humor is just right, and there's a message at the end.
No, not that type of thing.
Not
But certainly, I like.
Slow down.
I was a big fan of Grindhouse, a movie that.
Well, that's not.
No, but it was a big
commercial.
budget movie.
I loved Grindhouse, by the way.
Me too, and I'm so sad.
Are you surprised that it didn't do well?
And that they changed it now and separated the Siamese twins and there's
right.
no trailer. To me, I think it was a great art movie. It really, because I went to grindhouses growing up. I used to sit in Baltimore. I'd be the only white person in mostly blaxploitation theaters, and they'd like, give me some green. That means gore. And then people would put their foot up. Rats would run around the theater. It added to it. It added to it. And I remember I was the only white person watching Mandingo. I don't know if you remember that movie. At the end,
yeah.
they boil a white person in a pot, the slave owner, and I thought, wow, this is really interesting here.
And when the lights come on, you're just kind of.
It was refreshing to see a
I'm
movie
the
like.
guy.
It was refreshing to see a movie like Grindhouse, though. It
Yeah,
really
me too. I thought it was really,
We had
really
all those
well
guys
done,
come
yeah.
through, and we really enjoyed the movie. And I think a big majority of our listeners didn't like it, and they're like, "Why are you guys shilling for this movie?" And blah blah blah. I'm like, "No, we really do
I thought it was
enjoy.
the best movie of the year.
We really enjoyed it."
I liked it. I didn't love it like as much as some of his other stuff.
Yeah.
Like Reservoir Dogs or whatever, but I still did enjoy it.
Quentin's great.
I like-
I mean, he's a real fanatic.
I
and
liked
he
Rodriguez.
knows every bit of it. He's the real thing.
Robert Rodriguez, his
great
film
too.
was better than
Yes, I agree.
than Quentin's probably.
I liked them both. That car chase. Come
that
on.
was pretty cool with the car
Come on,
chase.
That
Yeah.
was amazing. And that wasn't done with tricks. That was,
Yeah.
imagine the continuity problems of how many cars they had to have. They had to shoot it because every time you got one dent in the wrong place, it doesn't match the
Right.
next shot.
We asked them about that scene, and Quentin, and he explained that Zoe, the stunt woman, Zoe, right? That she's on the hood for the whole, the car chase, and they explained how they did that she was on a wire, but the guy was in the back seat, hiding from the
Swinging it,
camera.
yeah.
He
Letting
was,
out some slack
letting out
every so
slack,
often.
pulling it
Yeah.
back,
Yeah.
like, oh, wow.
She was
man, you
really
gotta
on the front of that,
You got to be
wasn't
very trusting as far as the people that are hiding in the car.
No
Well, I
green
guess
screen
stunt
there.
People have to be. Yeah, that's why it works so
Yeah.
well. To me, all those really expensive special effects I think bad special effects are more involving to me when it's just a science project, not a movie anymore.
Yeah.
Like in what was the movie
awful.
where the black hole, where they're like just hovering outside the hole, still talking, and it was like this. It was really awful. It did
I
not look
thought that was
realistic
a
at all.
porn movie.
You pick a great movie, Jim.
What were we talking about during the break? There was a couple things John brought up, and
I know we talked about
David
I
Lynch,
asked
right?
about, Lynch, and
political,
I couldn't follow.
political correctness, David Lynch.
I am politically correct, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
sure I am.
Political correctness
Explain
doesn't
that.
make fun of anything or offend
Sure
anybody's.
it does. Yeah, political correctness means, if you're going to make a Jewish joke, it helps to be Jewish. And I agree. You can get away with a lot more humor if you're making fun of yourself first. Then you have freedom to make fun of others, I think, like you. I think.
That kind of narrows down the spectrum, though, because what if
Not
a
really.
black guy has great observations on white people? He should be able to make them.
And he can. Yeah, it just depends. I'm not saying there's rules,
Right.
but I'm saying I think even though my films piss off some amount of people and everything, they are politically correct because the people that win mind their own business and don't judge other people, which is political correctness to me. I'll understand anything. I'll be sitting. People tell me anything. I'm sitting on an airplane, and the straightest looking woman I don't know next to me will turn to me and said, "My whole family fucked me under the Christmas tree." And I thought, "Oh, why did she tell me that?" But I do understand and try to counsel her basically.
See, our definition of political correctness is what's different here, because I think that's not being politically correct. I just think that's being decent. Like political correctness to me is an arrogance. It's a let me dictate what you should say.
Well, it is an arrogance in a certain way, a liberal arrogance. When people say,
Yes.
I had it from in Serial Mom, a movie made, Kathleen Turner's calling everyone a cocksucker, and this gay militant said to me, "What's the matter with that, John?" I thought, "Oh, come on, what? You have a sense of humor first, help." So I'm not that. What you're talking about is that like the police out there, but and I've always made fun of liberals because I am one. I make fun of gaily incorrect because I am gay. So basically, you can do that, and I do bait people like that. But that's to make them laugh so they change their mind.
Mm-hmm. But it's good to violate, like, with someone eating dog shit. That's like violating, and I'm saying that in a great way, real conventions of society or real, like, views of society. So, like, it's so PC now, and everybody is so soft and so afraid of saying the wrong thing. It's just disingenuous. To me, to have a moment like that would be to violate that PC mentality.
When we made that movie, the real reason I did that scene, and it's sort of lost in history, was it was the year Deep Throat came out. It was the year pornography sort of became legal. So we try to think, well, what isn't illegal that they don't have a law against yet? And they do now. It's the one thing you can't do in porn. But we did not do this for sexual reasons. It was not coprophagia. It was a political action against taste, where it was a comedy routine. But that today is something you can't even do in porno. So now there are laws against it. Yeah. They couldn't censor it at the time because they did. Who would do this? Why would there be a law? Because why would someone eat dog shit for entertainment? So it was also like the Mondo movies, if you remember all them. They would show, see natives in other countries eating raw monkey balls, that kind of thing. And so it was kind of a joke on that, too.
Now, filthy.
And reality television before. I mean, Divine really did. There was no cuts, you could say.
Reality TV is not based on reality, though.
No, I mean, and you know, I never watch reality TV because I live in Baltimore. I just step outside. Why would I possibly need it?
Look around.
We have to take a train every once in a while to the Washington, the XM compound, and we drive through this part of Baltimore. And we just pray the train doesn't break down, or pray. The first time we went through, we're like, please tell me they're not stopping here.
Well, it's great view, and it's the part where I make movies about those kind of neighborhoods.
It is
certainly
horrifying.
Oh, it looks beautiful.
Do you like The Wire?
It is cool. It looks like a post-apocalyptic set.
I think The Wire is the best show on television.
I agree. It's all set in Baltimore.
And it's the final season they just did, and it's this year about the press.
That's right.
And it's like reading a novel. It's the only television. You really have to pay attention. And there's a lot of characters, and it's really brilliant, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think
never saw The Wire.
It's all that Baltimore, and they were supposed to do 5 sections of, like, that. I want to say drugs or life in the streets, where they deal with politics, they deal with the kids, they deal with the drug dealers.
That was a great season.
Season 2,
yeah. So there's all kind of neighborhoods in Baltimore. You can be in great ones and terrible ones, but I like all of them. And it's an extreme city because people think, why would you leave your own neighborhood? They really don't. And it's, my favorite story there, and this is in This Filthy World, my thing is I saw a family, this is my favorite, it gets the biggest laugh. So the family walking up the street in Baltimore, and one's, Dad, why is Mommy crying? He said, because you're an asshole. and that kind of sums up the humor of the city.
So This Filthy World, let's dig into that. Obviously, you take on some taboo topics.
Well, hope so. I mean, if it's called, This Filthy World, what am I going to talk about,
Pedophilia,
well,
gay marriage,
drug
use, right?
All the obvious things for humor. Yeah, that's probably the stuff you talk about, too.
we make fun of horrific things on this show.
Yeah.
We find humor.
But humor is the best way to win. It's how I didn't get beat up in high school, because the people that would have beat me up, and there were plenty of them, thought that I hated authority even more than they did, which kept me safe. And they knew that I could make them laugh. And if you can make somebody laugh, they won't hit you. They might sleep with you. And they also... you can get them to change their mind about politics if you can make them laugh. It's protection, and it's a shield you can wear to get through life.
Yeah, being funny in school was really helpful.
It was really helpful.
You could, because if you didn't have the body to be a jock, or you weren't a brain, then the brain's